All right, good morning, virtual top performers. And this is going to be a wonderful session. You're going to really enjoy this and you're going to better understand yourself. I'm going to show you how to reduce your stress. That's the number one killer. And what kills us, and it's all about ease. I wanted to start today, though, first with sharing with you on where we are, and I've talked to a few of you, and again, I encourage you to communicate with me that this is your time, and so communicate either now or via email or text or call me, whatever, but I want to hear from you, and if you need any help or want to tell me about your successes. Already we've had someone attract 2 listings and they'll make over $20,000, and that was just in the first week. And I'm telling you, this happens all the time. Yesterday, I was with an agent, and she had attracted in 3 weeks 6 listings. And so she's making $30,000 in July, and then another $20,000 in August. So she's making $50,000. She last year made just $30,000. So this works, but where is the secret? And so the magic hasn't come to you yet. That I want to make sure that you understand the importance of your joy shop. And what your joy shop is in the morning. And so first thing in the morning, wake up 15 minutes, 20 minutes early, whatever you need to do, in order to invest this time, because in essence, it's where you create your life. And this whole life, your whole experience is about energy. And in fact, I just read a quote by Einstein today that was on Facebook, and he talks about that. Everything is just energy. I like to call it loving energy. Everything is just energy. And when you align up to that energy, that you'll have everything that you want. And in essence, that's exactly what I teach, except I show you how to do it. And the how-to is this joy shop. So for you to first read and just get the quotes that I gave you on the joy shop, just to get into a good feeling and just use the thoughts that really arouse you, that get you going. And then to purchase a journal and to write out. It's important, again, this 15 minutes that you literally can create anything you want just by this 15 minutes every day, and it's just going to get better and better. But if you ask yourself, well, where's my stuff, okay, and the stuff you want, then you're thinking about the lack of it, and then you'll get more of the lack of what you want. So it's important to be in that joy shop, and then in your journal, start writing down 3 things. Number 1, what do you want? That you're going to start getting clearer and clearer of what you really want. What you think you want right now in this moment, I share with you, it's not everything that you really deeply want. And as you just ask that question, what do I want? The thoughts and the creative infinite intelligence will start bringing those ideas to you on what your inner being truly wants and what your true intention is. And overall, your true intention is for joy, to have more joy, happiness in your life, to have more freedom, and to have more growth. So that's it. And that's the general terms. You then start defining it as you have been working through life here, playing through life, going through life, sifting through what you don't want, and then identifying, birthing new ideas of what you do want. So the 3 things, again, to write down is what you desire. And then the second one is you want to, and again, I would write this down right now as we're going through this, just to really internalize this, what you desire, what you want. And then the second thing is what you appreciate in the last 24 hours. There are so many good things that happen to you in the last 24 hours, but most of us are focused on the things that are troubling us. And if you continue to focus on your troubling thoughts, you'll just get more trouble. And you certainly don't want that, and I don't want that for you. I want you to have things get better and better, and this is the path, and you are being put now on your path. You came here. The reason why you're listening to this is when the student is ready, the teacher shall appear. So this is in the perfect timing for you at the perfect time, and you're going to be given the perfect portions and perfect information in order to just enlighten you and make you feel so happy and so in control and so grounded. And so, again, this is going to be just a magnificent session that we're going to have here today. And we're going to be talking about understanding yourself and others. And the main points that we're going to be looking at is looking at that we, as human beings, as vibrational beings, we're really just we're energy, that we have four primary behaviors. And so for most of you that you have completed your assessment, if you haven't, please do so. There are actually two assessments in one when you complete it at one time, and then I send it to you at one time, but there's actually two assessments. It's the behaviors, the four behaviors, and then your 6 motivations. And by understanding this, you're going to really understand yourself. If you haven't done this, this is valued at $600, $300 an assessment, and so it's yours included in this, and so make sure that you do it. I sent you out an email today that if you do have your profile, if you want to print it out, it's like 50 pages, all about you. These are the responses to your answers. I didn't interview like your relatives and find out, and your spouse or family or whatever, and find out who you were. That these are all based on your answers, and it's statistically the most accurate and valid diagnostic tool on the face of the earth. So what you're getting here is just amazingly incredible, and I want you to really embrace it. And so our agenda then we'll review the 4 behaviors, how to identify and raise the curtain of communication with others. So all of us have a curtain, an invisible curtain in front of us, that we either draw that curtain closed with people or we open it up. And you, when you're speaking to other people, based on how you're speaking and behaving in front of other people, they're either going to subconsciously close that curtain or open up that curtain. And I'm going to show you how in 30 seconds you're going to be able to recognize whether you're meeting in person with a person, on the phone, whether you're even in email, that you're going to be able to identify what behavior they are, modify your behavior so you can open up that curtain of communication. So just think how incredible that is, that within 30 seconds, you're going to be able to do that. I have had, just from this session, I have had people that have been having a challenge with the prospect or whatever, have used this information and have closed that prospect typically within a couple days. Like one just last time in Top Performers, it was on Thursday, real troubling experience with this a buyer, just couldn't decide on what kind of house, and weren't motivated, and so this person kept on complaining about what they don't want to see. And once they got this information, that Saturday, that person was highly motivated when they met, was highly motivated and signed a contract. And so that's the power that you have. See, we have been told our beliefs, and next week is going to be about our beliefs, and that's going to be a mind boggler for you and a mind opener for you and more enlightenment for you. Every one of these sessions just build on each other. But see, we have a belief that we've been told that you can't change anyone, and I'm telling you, you can change everyone. And so this is part of how that is, and it's based on how you think about other people and what you want to see and draw out of other people. So we're going to do that in our agenda. We're then going to look at the 6 motivations and how to speak people's language. You are motivated by 6 different factors, and the 2 highest factors that you have, which is in your assessment, those 2 is how basically you make decisions. So when you're talking to other people, you're talking your language based on how you would make a decision. And I'm going to show you now on how most people are looking at how they make decisions and how you're going to be able to talk other people's language. So it's just amazingly powerful on what this is going to be able to do. We're going to also look at our high payoff activities that most people that I have met with, thousands of people, that most of them invest about 30% of their time in high payoff activities, and 70% in low payoff activities. So this is going to help you get focused on what are my high payoff activities in my professional business life, and what are my high payoff activities in my personal life. And so just to share that on high payoff with personal is your joy shop. That's a high payoff activity. Your quality time, talking with friends, family, loved ones. That to be able to maybe it's to exercise, to enjoy yourself, to relax, to take a walk, whatever those high payoff activities are. And mainly you want to start changing the way that you think about what your high payoff activities are. For the end result is for you to be happy, for you to feel good. I can't stress enough on how by you starting to feel good, and like in the joy shop, just thinking these good thoughts. And what are good thoughts? Good feeling thoughts are thoughts about what you want, what you like. Like each one of you want a long and happy and prosperous life. Just sit on that idea, and that you'll start feeling better. And as you feel better, you start calling the energy of the universe to you to give you what you want. You literally are in the center of the universe, and that you call forth with your thoughts, as we learned last week, you call forth with your thoughts that which you are thinking about, okay? And most of us are thinking about what we don't want. So stop that, please. And that I want you to start thinking about the things you want, about your thriving business. All of you want a thriving business. All of you want a thriving life. All of you want all the money for my comfort and joy. Okay, and desires. And so as you start calling forth that and being patient and knowing it's all coming, because here's the trick, and kind of for you to understand, because some of you have already contacted me and said, hey, I'm a little impatient, where's my stuff, and I didn't get it yet, or whatever. And 99% of your path is an emotional path for you to raise your emotions up to where you allow whatever you want in. The last 1% is the actual manifestation. So when you feel that you have that thriving business, that $20,000 per month income, that listings that come out of the blue. Again, yesterday, someone, in 3 weeks had 6 listings out of the blue and had 0 listings the last 6 months, since the beginning of this year. How does that happen? It happens by you literally have the power to manage, control the whole universe and take the energy that creates worlds into what you want. And so this is why what I want to think about is these high payoff activities. And then finally, we're going to talk about, and I talked about the magic bullet, that the number one way, you don't need websites. I know someone that doesn't have a website, doesn't go on Facebook, doesn't do any of that stuff, and they have just an amazing business. I mean, they're making, I don't know, $250,000 a year in real estate, and they don't have any of that. It's all based on what I taught them about this ideal referral partnership. So they don't spend any money or time on any of that. And so here's what I'd like us to do is we're going to look at the 4 different behaviors of mankind. And so what I'd like you to do is get out a piece of paper and just put a dot. You don't have to put that box in there. Just put a dot in the middle of that paper. And then with 4 arrows coming out, the north side, south side, west side, east side. Now I'll show you here. And so let me just kind of get through this. That we're going to talk about the behavior style of each of these 4 behaviors. We're going to identify the behavior style, the expertise, the value of the behavior style, the percent of population. So you're going to be able to understand out of these 4 behaviors on how to identify them, and then you're going to know that on average, this is how many of that population you're going to run into, and then how you modify your behavior. So there are 2 main things that I want you to get out of this lesson here. Is so there are 4 behavior, and they're called DISC. So at the top of the page, you can put D period, I period, S period, C period. The 4 DISC, like a disk that you would put in a computer, the 4 DISC behavior styles. And there's 2 things I want you to get out of every behavior style. First of all, to be able to identify that behavior style in another person. And then secondly, to modify your behavior style. And so with that, let us start with looking at the first one is the D. So again, I'd like you to put a plus mark in the page at the top of the page on the north side there on the top. I'd like you to put down D. So the 4 DISC behaviors, the first behavior is the D. The D stands for driver/dominant. These people are very controlling and they do a lot of telling. In fact, they do a lot of demanding. And so think to yourself, who do I know? Because this is an excellent way in order to really embrace this understanding. Who do I know that fits that description? That's a driver, that's dominant, that likes to control, do a lot of demanding. You maybe didn't call them a D before. You might have called them a B or something like that. And but the fact is that, we've been told through the ages, do not judge people. And this is helping you now to understand, oh, yeah, these people are just a D. I don't have to call them names or, say they're cold or they're hard or whatever. That instead, I can embrace and understand and no longer judge and embrace people for who they are. So the D is for drivers/dominant. They like to control. They like to do a lot of telling or demanding. What are they really good at? Every behavior style, and I want you to also think about which behavior style are you? Are you this D? That on every behavior style, that there's some really positive, good attributes. For a D, they're good at decision making. So if you were all D's on the phone, which you are not, by the way, but there's a few of you that have strong D's on you. For example, most of you know Desi, and Desi has some D in him, okay? And what these guys, so if everybody were D's, they'd say, yeah, I make good decisions, but that's not what I said. I said that on the D, that they're good at decision making, which means they're going to make a quick decision. So how does this impact you and your business? That when you meet a person and they're very right to the point, pretty controlling, kind of demanding, getting right to the point, controlling the conversation, etc. What you do instead of any judgmental things, you just say, oh, these people are a D. And so how do I be with a D? Well, first of all, I know they're going to make a quick decision. So I have to be, and look at number 5 there, it says be efficient. So with a D, you want to be efficient. And so what that means is you need to get right to the point. With a D, when they ask you how you doing, you don't say, hey, I'm doing great. I woke up this morning, did my joy shop. Man, I'm feeling on top of the world. And then I had breakfast. And, they don't want to know all that detail. They basically just, you would answer them, hey, I'm doing really well, because you want to be efficient with them. So think how many people, because most of you aren't Ds, think how many people that you have met, prospects, friends, whatever, that are Ds where you weren't efficient with them. When you're not efficient with them, they draw down their shade of communication, and you're not going to effectively communicate with them. And so I know that a lot of you are thinking right now, wow, yeah, I can think about that guy or that girl, that I did. And this, by the way, doesn't have anything to do with sex, that 18% of the entire population, male or female, And so because of that, that you use, oh, that, this is incredible that now I know that instead of me, thinking about, oh, they were real rough, tough, that now I can just think, oh, they're just a D. And from now on, I'm going to be very efficient with these people. And I know they're going to make quick decisions. So in fact, D's can be your best prospect. Why? They'll say yes faster than anybody else. And that is a big one. So now you want to love D's, okay? And again, most of you, based on what your profiles are, that you typically don't get along very well with D's. And because you don't have that D in you, and it kind of rubs you wrong. And so now what I want you to do is line up and say, I love D's. It's all a matter of mindset. I love D's because D's make quick decisions, and they'll say yes, no, they'll get right to the point, they'll be motivated, etc. Okay? So that's the D. Now we're going to go over to the next one, and we're going to go to the I. And the I is for influencer. And the I, and again, I want you to write all this out. It'll help retain this information, because what you want to do from now on, so for example, I'm talking about 100 words per minute. Your minds are going 400 to 600 words per minute. Where are you? You might not even be in the room. You might be thinking about something else and something you got to do later on or whatever. And so I first of all invite you back into the room and recognize that, wow, with the extra time that I have when I'm meeting with people, I can be listening to what they say, and at the same time, I can be identifying what behavior they are. So with the I is for influencer. They're very outgoing, and they do a lot of talking. I was at a party the other day, and there were about 5 groups standing around, and I could look at, like, if I've met you, and most of you I have, that I'm mainly just thinking about your vibration, number one, but then on what behavior style you are, and I'm actually taking and recording in my mind, hey, what behavior style are you? And I want to make sure that we have good communication. You open up your shaded communication, and so thus I'm going to modify my behavior. So with the D, I'm going to be efficient. With the I, the influencer, they're very outgoing and telling. And so now, because you have all this extra mental time, okay, with these 400 to 600 words per minute that you're going with, and people are only talking 100, you start thinking about what behavior style they are. So the I is for influencer. They're very outgoing. They do a lot of telling. And what are they good at? They're good at influencing people. And so most of you have a natural I. In fact, most of you have your first behavior style is I. And so you're influencers, and you just have a natural ability to influence people. Of course, this would be very good for sales. And so if you have your own business in real estate, for most of you, that this is like, oh, this is a no-brainer. This is cool. I've been blessed with this. Now, if you aren't an I, it's no biggie. That it's just that with I's that, hey, they're real outgoing and they're able to, but you can attract anything with your mind. But know that influencers are just naturally, they're very good at influencing other people. A percent of population, 28% of the people that you meet are going to be I's. And how do I want to be with I's? I want to be stimulating. So, for example, Delfino is an IS, and we're going to get to the S in a second, but he's primarily an I. So because of that, when I go and I see Delfino and I talk to him or we email or whatever, I don't go up to him and say, hey, how's it going? I go, hey, how's it going? And I bump it up a little, okay? I think, oh, he's an I, and he likes it stimulating. And right away, his shaded communication opens up. And so you will be amazed at how effective this works and how you're going to just start having these wonderful, wonderful, harmonious and uplifting relationships. And there's 2 ways to do that. First one is to ask for in the Joy Shop harmonious and uplifting relationships. And then number 2 is to start using your mind on, hey, what behavior style they are. With the I want to be stimulating. Now, when you modify your behavior style, you don't want to fake it. So I don't want to go to Delfino, hey, how you doing? Because that's not who I am, okay? That I'm going to still maintain my integrity, but at the same time recognize he likes stimulating, so I'm going to bump it up a little bit versus maybe a different behavior style, okay? So that's the D and the I. And now we're going to go to the S. And S is for steady. These people, they're great team players, and they don't rock the boat. You know, everything's okay. We really don't have to change anything. Have you ever had any buyers that way? That where they're just saying, hey, everything's okay. We really don't need to list this house. Or, well, I don't know if we need to buy that house. And they're kind of, everything's kind of okay the way it is. And what they give is they give an even pace. In fact, they need an even pace, and 40% of the population are S's. They can be the most challenging of your clients or prospects because, again, they're not willing to do too much change. They don't necessarily want to move. They don't necessarily want to make a decision. Where D's are very good at decision making, the S, that that everything's okay. We're going to take our time before we make a decision on that. And so all of you can relate to that, and most of you have a lot of S in you. The good news on that is if you have S, you naturally are vibrating in that even pace mode. So 40% of the population that you meet, you can relate to. You can open up their shade because you're even pace, you're steady, and like they are, they relate to that. And so one of the challenges is, well, I want to move my business ahead, and with S's, they take a while. And so how am I going to be able to, stimulate the S's in order to get them moving? And basically, so imagine that you're at A going to B, and that space in between A and B, that with the D, with the driver, okay, it's right away that they're going to make a decision. You basically just need a couple of action steps in between A and B, and they're going to make a decision either yes or no, okay? With the S, what you need to do is a lot of little action steps frequently in order to get your objective done, to have them, make a decision, whatever, in a timely fashion, that you need to hit them more often than people that don't. So how do I, with an S, how do I be? I want to be agreeable. So with the D, I want to be efficient. With the I want to be stimulating. With the S, I want to be agreeable. And did you notice how I slowed things down with the S as I talked about the S? That everything is okay, and so you want to slow it down. So if you're an I or a D, you're going at a fast pace, and so you want to slow it down, and you want to be agreeable. And what does that mean? Don't say no to an S, because automatically, subconsciously, they're going to draw their shade down, and they're not communicating with you. Like they have blanked you out. They basically aren't going to budge. So don't say no. Don't say the word but either. If you say, oh, that's a great idea, but, well, what happens there? That but just erased what you said about that's a great idea, and they feel that, and they'll shut down on you. So how do you raise that? You say the word and. So you say, oh, that's a wonderful idea. And did you consider this? So are you getting this on how simple this is? It's DISC, so just think about this. With the D, they're dominant, okay, and I want to be efficient. With the I, that they're real outgoing, and so think of people that you know that are outgoing, like yourself. Most of you have that I in you, okay? And the S, the steady. I need to slow it down a little, and I need to be agreeable and say that and word, okay? And then finally, we go to the C. And the C is for conscientious or compliant. Again, I'd like you to write that down, really embrace this and remember this, because if you don't internalize this information, that, within days, maybe within hours, you're going to just be your same old self and managing people the same old way. And so what I want you to do is start becoming more deliberate. So first of all, you pre-pave. And if you're going to have a meeting this afternoon, you pre-pave on how well that meeting is going to go. And you also think about how you're going to pause and you're going to identify what behavior they are, modify your behavior. If you know the people, that's for people you haven't met. If you know them already, then you want the mindset of, hey, what behavior are they? And again, you can start identifying what behavior. Now, to understand how this works is I'm giving you a very focused, here's how the D is, and so here's how it works, though, is as far as us human beings are concerned, is we're real strong one of these behavior styles, then pretty strong another, and then two we're not very strong in at all. And so that's typical for most of us. And so know that what you're picking up and what you'll pick up is their strongest behavior style, which is the most dominant one. And so this works very easily. Yes, there's other ones, and so you might hit a DI, be in front of a DI, and if they're a DI that, hey, they're getting to the point, but they're also pretty talkative, but they want you to get to the point as you'll be able to see, oh yeah, they're more of a D than anything. So you don't have to invest much time on this at all. Again, within 30 seconds, you'll be able to identify the behavior style. Then you want to modify it. Back to the C. The C, the conscientious, they're very concerned with facts and data and rules and regulations. So these people can drive you, most of you, nuts. And so why is that? They're asking like, how far is a fire hydrant? How many feet is a fire hydrant from the front door? Well, hell, you don't know and you don't care. Okay, so in those that they want to make sure that you're being accurate with them. So in those situations where you don't know the answers, just tell them you don't know, but you'll get back to them. You don't always have to have the answer. What you have to have is the truth. And the truth is, if you don't know, that's what you share with them. So with the C, there's only 14% of the population that are primarily, their primary behavior style is a C, and but they're very much into facts, data, rules, and regulations. Now, if you're a real high C, you say rules and regulations are meant to be followed. Okay? That if you're a medium C, not real high, and I'm going to show you some graphs later on how to understand this, that if you're a medium C, the rules and regulations are nice guidelines. If you're a low C, which by the way most of you are, that rules and regulations are meant to be broken. And so you kind of want to watch that one if you're a low C, to keep an eye on. You don't want to break them so much to where you lose credibility or go to jail or whatever. And but the main point is that when you're talking to a C, that you want to make sure on how to be accurate. So the reason why I set these up in this way is the D and the S typically don't get along very well. Why? The D is saying, hurry up, let's go. The S is saying, we don't have to hurry up at all. We got plenty of time. Let's not hurry. And so there can be friction in that. The C and the I, they don't get along very well. Why? Because the I is saying, hurry up, let's go. We can do everything better and faster than everybody else. And the C says, quit all the bullshit and just give me the facts. And so I's have a tendency in order to exaggerate, and the C's, of course, wouldn't like that because they're all about facts, data, rules, and regulations. So this is an amazing, simple, and again, I don't know anybody that teaches it as easy and as simple as this, and as effective as you can use in order to help you with your business. A couple more things. Put a line between the D and the I, and the D and the I, they're more extroverted. So D's and I are typically more extroverted. The I and the S, they're more concerned with relationships. whereas the C and the S are more introverted. So again, put a line between D and I are extroverted. C and S are more introverted. The I and the S are more concerned with relationship. So the D, C, they're concerned with tasks. And so because of that, in fact, I was at this point with an IBM executive, a lady, and she started to cry when I got to this point. And I said, listen, Sue, this is good information, but it's not that good. You don't have to cry about it. And she goes, no, I just realized that I've been married for the last 13 years. And I've been married to, she says, I now realize I'm an IS, and I'm always concerned with relationships. And I've been always trying to get my husband for 13 years to be soft and easy, but he's a DC, and he's only concerned with tasks. And I said, well, exactly, a good job on identifying, the different behavior styles of yourself and your husband, but give me an example. And she said, well, if we go on a trip, I'm saying to him, hey, are the kids' friends going to come? Are the in-laws coming? Looking at, again, concerned with relationships, looking at the relationships. Whereas he says, when are we leaving? Where are we going? When do we come back? And just kind of, this cold, hard, this is how it is. And she always thought, she tried for 13 years to change him into something different than the CD and trying to make him, warm and soft and concerned with relationships. And the fact is that he's a CD and that he's concerned with tasks. So then she asked me, she pondered this, and she said, so I could give up that whole battle and stop doing all that stuff. I now understand him. But she said, why did I get attracted to this guy? And she got attracted to this guy because opposites attract. And so it's really nice. It's unique. Like if you're an IS, and it's really unique to go out on a date or go meet somebody that's, a DC, they're different and everything. But living with them is sometimes a different story. And so there you go. There is the DISC. And what I'm going to do now is I'd like you to go to your profile, and so I'm gonna pull up a profile here. I think I am. I got to get a profile that, let me just see if I can close this down and see where we are. Here we go. What I'd like you to do, if you have your profile, I'd like you to go to it, and I'd like you, and this is a real example of someone that just took this a couple months ago. And if you go to page 3, you can see at the bottom it's page numbers, and so page 2, and then if you go to page 3, those are sales characteristics. So we're not going to invest a lot of time, but I'd like you to just read that first paragraph about you if you have your profile there. So just take a minute to read that. And you'll see just how amazingly accurate it is. So that's some really fun information, and again, what I'd like you to do this week is to read sales characteristics, and you can see it's 2 pages long. For most of you, it's 2 pages long. For some of you, it has even more verbiage, and it's like 3 pages long. And then I would suggest you go through your whole profile. It has just amazing. For example, it shows your behavioral selling overview, how you prospect, how your first impression is, how you qualify people, how you demonstrate to people then, how you influence people, and how you close them based on your behavior. And again, these are the results of yours. This isn't what Dr. Hank just made up and decided I'd have on you. That this actually tells you where you can excel. Now, you'll also note that it says under like prospecting, it says adapted and natural. So the natural is who you really are. The adapted is how you try to change yourself from who you are. And if you try to change yourself too much from who you are, people subconsciously pick this up and they just know you're not authentic and they're not going to like you as much. They're going to close their shade on you. And so I'm going to show you, though, an amazing graph here, 2 graphs that are going to show your natural and adapted self. But look at that, and what a page that is. That right there, my friends, are the 6 steps of what it takes in order to be a salesperson. And all of us, no matter what job you're doing, whatever, that we're all selling all the time something. Our ideas, our perspective, whether it's family, whatever, and it really goes through all of these different steps. And so how cool is all that, huh? And then we're the average, and nobody's a 10, by the way, that it literally, you'd have to be quote unquote perfect. And we are perfect in our nature, but according to, this assessment on how this works. And so 5 is average, and just so that you know on how you go. Actually, I want to back up on that 5 is poor, 5.1 to 6.6 is fair, 6.7 to 7.6 is good, and then very good, and then excellent is 9 to 10. So you can see in this case that this person, as far as sales are concerned, that I would advise this person probably not to be in sales or to leverage what they're good at. And then, and again, I can help you with all this, because understand we can all be whatever we want to be. And this just helps you to guide you in understanding and give you clarity. So that's a cool page. Now, there's all kinds of different information, and I'm just going to page down here. But there are, your ideal environment, what you like, that the way that you perceive things. This is a fun page here. This is on page 14. But your self-perception versus others' perception when you're under extreme pressure, there's a big difference. See, like, for example, in this case, enthusiastic, charming. If you're under pressure, poor listener, talkative, self-promoter, overconfident. And so some of these pages hit you a little hard, too, because they say, oh, my gosh. And this is why you don't want to be under any, it says right there, any pressure, stress, or fatigue. And you have the power right now in this moment to feel good and get out of that. And do you see how important this feeling good is? That your own self-perception on who you really are up there, like in this case, enthusiastic, charming, persuasive, that's who that person is, unless they put their own pressure. The only pressure we ever have, the only pressure, stress, or fatigue we ever have is what we put on ourselves. The only devil there is what we're thinking negative about ourselves or about a situation. And so powerful information. I'm telling you, sharing with you that this 50 pages has so much information that can really just help you so much. On this page, the highlighted areas are where they're primary. So notice where the dominance, influence, DISC are. That's the 50% line where they're written. And the colored is where that person is. So this person is actually as ICS. See, because, and look at my pointer, see the I all the way up to magnetic. And then the next highest one is up to with the C, neat. And then the next one, whoa. And then the next one is under predictable and all over the 50% line. Normally, we only have 2 behaviors over the 50% line. And then notice the D, she's a low D. So she's as low as this peaceful, modest, as far as the D is concerned. So moving through it again, there's so much information. We could literally invest hours on this, and this is your adapted self. This page is awesome. Like if you're working with someone, or share, for example, with your spouse, that keys to motivating. These are ways that you like to be motivated. So if you're working with someone and, and it's not working out very well, this page is amazing. Or if you want to work it out better, which is even better, right, to have that type of quote, a type of focus. And so look at that on keys to motivating, and then you can just kind of cherry pick the main ones that you'd like that person to have. So for those of you that are working with Desi's team, that with Desi you may want to show this page to, because it's a way that you like to be motivated. And then again, others of you that this can be with your significant other, that you can do that page. Keys to managing, and we're all managing each other. And this is just another tremendous page where you can review and better understand on, where you are. So time wasters, procrastination, daydreaming, just all kinds of wonderful things. A time waster actually isn't a daydreamer as long as you're thinking about your desires, though. And so I want to encourage you to daydream, but to daydream good thoughts. That as long as they're good thoughts, that is not a time waster, and it puts you in an area of feeling good. Areas to improve. An action plan, a whole action plan. So literally, we could have a whole webinar for a couple months just on all this information. But what I want you to do is read through it, and then I'm going to take you to this graph. And so on page 29, or for some of you, I believe it's 30, that what this graph is, and so I want you to write this down. The right graph is who you are, who you really are. So where it says natural style. So for example, this person is an ICS. And their left graph is how they adapt themselves. And so I'm going to show you right now on how you're going to be able to identify if you have any stress that you're putting on yourself by changing your behavior, and then how to decrease your stress. So look at the D, and again, either in this one or your own, that look at the D on, if you subtract the D from the D, it doesn't matter which way you do it. In this case, you can go 8 minus 7, that equals 1, okay? If the difference between the D and the D, and then subtract the I and the I, in this case 86 minus 83. Again, it doesn't matter which way you go, just take the higher number, subtract it by the lower number. And then you take the S, 65, 63. Then you take the C, 74, 67. When you subtract those, and if you have more than 10 points or more difference, that means that you are creating stress in your life over and above regular, normal, everyday, if you will, stress by trying to be someone who you are not. And what I want you to do is love yourself for your God-born gifted behaviors, which is your right graph. This is, if you will, the truth on who you are. Your right graph is who you really are. Your left graph is how you modify your behavior. And so for most of you have some stress in your life where you modify your behavior more than 10 points. And so now I'm going to share with you, and I want you to write this down, on how you can get back to who you really are into your right graph if you're high in any of these. So it is D as in dog, an acronym, DESC. So not DISC, it's DESC. The D is for delegate some of the tasks. Okay, so like if you drop your S too much, that means you're going faster. Remember, a higher S means a slower pace. So as you drop your S, you're going at a faster pace. So think about delegating some of your activities. Maybe you want to get a buyer's agent to work, with you, or another agent, or work with the team, or go to elance.com and get an assistant, virtual assistant, whatever. I have like 3 of them on Elance that help me in different areas. And so the D is for delegate. The E is for eliminate. Start eliminating some of the things that are low payoff activities for you. So D, delegate. E, eliminate. S is for simplify. See if you can simplify some of the things. Like if you're doing something, if you're like farming for 2 hours a day, is it really necessary to farm? Again, referral partnerships, which we'll talk about in a few minutes here, that's the ticket home, and that's an easy down road way. And so you want to think about, how can I simplify what I'm doing? Or maybe you're simplifying that you're contacting like people that that you're trying to force them to do something, and that's upstream. Always look at everything that you're doing. If it's upstream, forget about it. None of your desires are upstream. I'm helping you to give up the struggle of life and start enjoying your life. And so you want to go downstream. So anything, everybody, whether it's a personal relationship, whether it's business, whatever, downstream is your path. God is leading, your source is leading you downstream if you allow to be led. But if you keep on trying to do the how, on figuring out how to do it, that's going to be upstream and you're not going to be there. So DESC, delegate, eliminate, simplify. And then this last one, the C, is for communicate. So communicate, whether it's to your spouse, whether it's to your office, whether it's to people that you're working with, whether it's even to your clients, that to communicate on where you are so you can get back to who you really are. So that is powerful information, and I want you to just, relax and review your profile and understand about the DISC. So with that is the DISC, the 4 behaviors, how to modify your behaviors. And now we're going to turn to what motivates people. And with this piece of information, which I'm going to give you very briefly, but you have a whole assessment that's going to outline all of it, and it's in this next part here. So we're going to go down, and if you go down to page 32, you can see that there are 6 different motivators that you have that people make decisions on. And so in Judeo-Christian society, there are 6. And what I'm going to do is just know that these are all in here and available to you, but I'm going to make this nice and simple for you. And so let's see here. So what we're going to do is that... let's see. Okay, let me get through this here. And so the 6 motivators. So we're going to review the 6 motivators. So take the DISC. That's a separate thing. You should have a page on that, outlining that. It'll build relationships amazingly. Now, motivations. When you can understand what motivates other people, you'll understand how they can decide and make decisions, and you'll help them make decisions on what you desire. And so, and to help them based on what, how they're thinking about it. And so this is the 6 motivators. So these are how people make decisions and the language they speak. You need to pick up, and the way that you can understand is through listening to people on what they're talking about and figuring out what they really want. And so I'm going to make this real simple on you. I'm going to go through the 6, but then make it even simpler for you. So the first one is utilitarian. It's number 1. Most people, and what does utilitarian mean? It means people want a return on investment. So of investment of their money, of their time, of their resources. So that is the number 1 motivator of mankind. So in your advertising, in your talking with people, that you always want to be thinking about that they're probably thinking about wanting a return on investment. So this is a good buy on this house or whatever it is, that this is a good, like we have a doctor online, and so with the patients that this procedure that I'm recommending, that this is good for you in order to give you a return on investment, which increase your health. Okay, and so the second one is theoretical. People want knowledge. So if you're a real estate agent which most of you are, that you already have the knowledge, but you have to realize that. Like I've talked to people that they say, well, I'm a new agent. And I said, well, how long have you been an agent? A year and a half. A year and a half. Well, when are you not going to be a new agent? That you can look at a house just like everybody else, and you're focused in on that more than the people that you're meeting with. So, but know that they're looking for knowledge. So you should be aware of what homes are, in the area, what they're looking for. And because people like knowledge, they want to know about the school, they want to know about the property values, they want to know about the homeowners association, et cetera. So they do want that, and they're going to make a decision on that. So you want to provide them a return on investment, to include a return on investment with you. Okay, and that you can easily and quickly find them exactly what they're looking for. And you can meet their needs quickly and easily. So they're looking for a return on investment. They're looking for knowledge. And then the third one is that, and again, those top two, you can pretty much bet most people are focused. Out of the 6, most people are focused on those top two. And then social is helping other people. And so, and you'll see, like some of you on your ranking, you may have low social, and you may say, oh, wow, I like to help other people. This is not about whether or not you want to help other people. It's about how you make decisions and about how other people make decisions. So in social, helping other people, that you'll want to bring up, wow, this is a nice neighborhood, and you'll be able to really benefit from this neighborhood and the church and the school system, and thinking about other people. It has a big yard, and so you'll be able to entertain, your family and friends. So be thinking about that. People will make decisions. They won't necessarily tell you, and they may not even know. In fact, you now know on how you base your decisions based on your assessment, your profile there on that page 33, whatever, that it has the ranking and the detailed information on the rest of the next 20 pages are detailed information about how you make decisions. And as you read that, I want you to be thinking about how you can start applying all this to other people, and thinking about, like, if you have a challenge with a current client or whatever, on why am I not talking their language? This is so critical, because this is the language people are talking. And again, if you find out through talking to them, and whatever they're bringing up, that's what's important to them, and you can't poo-poo it. So they may say, wow, I really like this a neighborhood because it looks so appealing. Well, that's a different one. That's called aesthetic, okay, which we're going to get to. But if you say, if you think to yourself, well, who cares about that? And because you care about return on investment, and you say, well, yeah, it might look pretty, but you're going to get a great return on this. Well, you're not talking their language. Okay, so it's important to hear what people are saying, and then to be able to put it in these 6 easy areas. And again, most of them are in these first 3 areas. Then number 4 is in this order as far as how the population comes out, what's most important to people and how they make decisions and the language they're talking is they're individualistic. They want to be number 1. They want to be the best. So people that they go to a block and they say, I want the biggest house on the block. And you're saying, oh, no, don't do that because if you're high ROI. And you say, oh, no, you don't want that because you won't get enough value out of that. They don't care about the value. What they care about is they want to be number 1. They want to have the biggest house. So One thing that a lot of us fall in the trap of is we think we're doing our clients a favor by telling them about our value system and how they should do it. It's none of your business. That I use, my wife Sharon, she's great material for me on these webinars and everything. That, love her to death, and poor girl that she'll be talking to her clients. She's a financial advisor, and she starts talking to her clients about, well, this is. That isn't the best path for you. You should be doing this, and I'm going, that's none of your business. Like, for example, some can get a chunk of money out, and she might say, well, don't take the chunk of money out because you won't have as much money per month to live on. But they want to take that chunk of money and give it to their children or whatever. Well, they're high social. And so, but Sharon is high utilitarian, return on investment. And you see where they won't do business with her if she's not talking their language, and same with you. This is the language of people and how people make decisions. And so in all of your website, do you have ROI on there? Do you have on where you're a good, you have these years of experience, you're very knowledgeable with the, market, et cetera. Do you have all that? Because if you don't have all that you're not going to attract very many people. They're not going to decide on you. Okay. And so again, utilitarian and theoretical are the main ones. Another one is traditional, again, not as powerfully impactful. It's number 5 out of the 6, and it's just order in life, and they like a nice system of it. And so, they may want the kitchen here and the dishwasher there, and kind of in that order where, most people, it's not that big of a deal. And then number 6 is my example earlier of aesthetic, where they want form and harmony. Like they say, oh, this home sits on the hill so nice. And, you may be, again, back to ROI saying, but it's fallen down, it's an old crappy house. And, but they love the form and harmony that it's sitting up in the house. So you have to love what they love and be speaking their language. So hopefully that was helpful for you. I know we, at this point, have been through just a lot of great information on how really to understand people. And so I want you to take away from this that the 4 different behavior styles, DISC, with the D, I want to be efficient. With the I want to be stimulating. With the S, I want to be agreeable. With the C, that I want to be accurate. And then there's 6 motivators on how people think and make decisions. And it's mainly that they're looking for an ROI, a return on investment. They're looking for knowledge, and they're looking to help other people. And speaking of helping other people, look at that the 3rd value out of the 6 of people making decisions is helping other people. And we talked about referral partnerships, and how by you asking another person if they will help you, on how much that resonates with people, because it's their number 3 value that most people have, is wanting to help other people. In fact, as I'm going down the line here, that with you guys and your results, a lot of you have as number 1, number 2, or number 3, social as being very high. And so it just shows you that, yeah, in fact, that people like to help other people, and through referral partnerships, you can do just that. So I want to, we've now identified the behavior styles. We identified what motivates people and how they make decisions. And so your success steps for this week will be to include reading your whole profile if you haven't already. And again, if you have any questions about that, if you have questions about like your stress and the 2 graphs, just get with me. I'm here for you, and I want to help you become your greatest possibility and have your business just soar. I want to see you soar. I want to see you to just be so happy in your personal and your professional life, and you have the power to do that. And so one of the steps to do that is to look at your high payoff activities. And so you have a sheet there on high payoff activities, and I'm going to send you in 2 weeks a sheet that you can actually write down. You'll be able to do a monthly planning process where you plan your month. But for right now, you can just write down my high payoff activities and just pause for a moment and think, what are my high payoff activities? And, what are the most important things that I can do to build my business? Again, personal life, I reviewed those high payoff activities. But what can I do in my professional life, my business life? What are the most important things? And so if you would take an inventory just during your day on the things that you're doing, you'll find that the things that I've listed here as probably your high payoff activities, that you're not doing much of those high payoff activities. So I'm going to share with you here are some areas that would suggest to you to start focusing more and more on, and start being aware of what you're thinking and what you're doing during the day. So high payoff activity number one, it's pre-paving. It's planning your day, your week, your month, and your life. The most important way that you can do that is to discipline your mind in order to feel good in the Joy Shop. And as you feel good, that literally all you need to do, and I know, and you haven't been taught this, you have beliefs that go contradictory to this, that if you would just feel good and look for things that please you, that everything that you've asked for will be coming to you in the perfect portions and the perfect timing. If you truly have faith and belief in God and your source, that you'll allow that, and you'll just accept those words as the truth. God feels good, okay? It's this high-flying vibration. It's this beautiful love energy. And for you to be at that spot, that you can't, if you continue to look at what's troubling you, if you continue to look at the lack of what you want, the reason why most people don't have money is because they think about the money they don't have. And I want you to start thinking about the money you do have. Look in your checking account. I don't care if it's $5, it doesn't matter. Be appreciative of, I just love having money in my account. That you start opening up as you appreciate what you currently have, that you will be in a state of allowing all that you want. Just see the heavens part for you and everything that you want. But to discipline your thinking. So I'm literally, remember, I'm a mental scientist. I'm helping you to change the way that you think. And remember that step one of all creation is thought. So you're creating your experience out of the thoughts that you have. And the most important tool that I can give you in order to help change your thoughts so you start thinking good feeling thoughts is the Joy Shop. And so that's how important that is in order to do it. And, if you want to do it, I mean, I have started to, my days are so phenomenal that at night, because I prepave it in my Joy Shop in the morning, that at night I sit out on my porch, same porch that I sit out seeing the sunrise in the morning. I then see the sunset. I'm on the 15th floor overlooking a woods, a forest. It's just beautiful. And I see the sun setting, and I am so ecstatic over the magical and amazing day that I had, that I just start writing down all the things that I appreciate from the day. So I, in essence, do 2 Joy Shops now, one in the morning and one at night. And I'm telling you, things are beyond good, beyond my imagination, that are happening for me, to me, with me. And the same can happen to you. I'm a product of the product. And so are thousands of my other students that are living the life of their dreams. And so this is your time too, and I want you to feel good. I don't care what you've done before with this process or whatever. I don't care anything about that. Right now, what I care about is for you to really realize that you have the power in this present moment in order to feel good. And as you feel good, that you're going to start allowing more and more of the things that you desire. So high payoff activity, number one, to prepay. And so we talked about the Joy Shop and the steps on that, and that's the main thing I want you to do. Then I would suggest on a business basis to meet 5 times a week with an ideal referral partner. So you should start attracting. You create and attract everything: money, happiness, business, and ideal referral partners. And so you start attracting ideal referral partners. I had a lady I've been coaching now for about a month, and they didn't have any ideal referral partners. And now they have 2. And these ideal referral partners are just like knocking it out. They're giving them the people, and for all homes that are over $250,000. And it's like, she's just like amazed, at that. That's way more than she's ever had. And she has these ideal referral partners. So, but you have to call forth and just know that, hey, my ideal referral partner. So if you just meet, again, this business that you're in, any business that, first of all, I want you to play. Don't think about this as work. And you can do this in 4 hours a day, that you can build a thriving business. And part of that is to do this meeting with your ideal referral partners. And we talked about those last week, but those are people well connected. So people that like you. Typically, previous clients are very good, but people that are out there and willing to promote you. And remember, we just looked at what motivates people. And what people just love and really lights their whistle is lights their candle, whatever it is that what it is it's social. It's helping other people, and you put those people in a position to help, number one, you, but then all of the people that they know, their friends, their families, their clients, because they're giving them you. And you are just awesome. And for the real estate agents, that you're awesome in that you're giving them an opportunity to buy the American dream. And so how cool is that, huh? So number 3 is meet with your ideal prospects that turn into your ideal clients. And so you're getting referrals, and just ask for referrals out of the blue. In fact, you can just ask for ideal referral partners, but I'll also just ask for ideal clients. Clients just out of the blue calling. I had a lady I'm coaching with yesterday said to me, "Oh my gosh, I just can't believe that I have that I got this out of the blue. This client came up to me, and she this prospect came up to me. She liked me so much that she gave me another, and she got 2 deals." And she just went like, this is just amazing. And this was two buyers. She goes, they just come out of the blue. And when you're in this good feeling place, then you can have all these things too. And number 4, meet and follow up with your clients. So now they've become clients, and so you meet and follow up with them. And then finally, you close and you ask them for referrals. So those, in my perspective, in my experience, are typically the 5 most important high payoff activities that you can do. And so if you would stay focused just on that, then you can have a thriving business. And these are the things that you start asking for in your Joy Shop, that I would like to attract ideal referral partners that are motivated, that give me ideal clients. These ideal clients are motivated. They like me. They trust me. They do as I say. They want to buy luxury homes. Whatever it is that you want, you can start doing. I had a friend who I coach yesterday. We were at a NAREP meeting, and he came to sit down next to me, and he said, "Yeah, can you imagine that they were talking about first-time home buyers?" And he said, "When I first met you, Dr. Hank, I was selling $100,000 homes, and now I'm selling homes over $200,000." And so he doubled his income with the same amount of work, if you will, play. And so you can do that too. If you decide, hey, I want to start selling $500,000 homes or whatever it is, you have the ability to attract and create anything you want. Do you think God can give you $1 million homes? Of course, easy, no problem. But can you give yourself $1 million homes? And that's the big question. And the answer on how to get that is what we're going through here. So let's review on a little about our referral partnerships. And so I'd like you to identify who your ideal referral partners are. And so I had one of the guys I'm coaching goes to church, and it's a very big church and with very prosperous people. And so he got a referral partner from church. And so they're everywhere. They're right under your nose. Whatever you do, they're your family, they're your neighbor, they're your friends, they're a previous client, that they're there waiting for you to ask. And so and you want to be inspired. Any action steps, you want to have inspired action steps. Remember, 99% of your path to the things you want to manifest is all emotional. You want to feel good about all this. So you identify, these are, I want ideal referral partnerships. They're well connected. They know people that are in high incomes, that they love helping me. They love me. I love them. That they regularly give me referrals, and good referrals, into my ideal clients. And then get clear on your ideal clients. And we'll get to that in a minute on the ideal clients. So what you would do now, so this week, I'd like you to attract a new ideal referral partner. And just ask for it. And if you would just ask for it and let it go without any contradictory thoughts, you'll get it. Okay? So get into a good feeling place and say, gosh, I just love the idea. And so I want you to write this down. I love the idea of. There's no resistance in that. You have allowing thoughts and resistant thoughts. Your resistant thoughts keep you from having what you want. Those are those troubling thoughts, okay? That by you, and again, write down, I love the idea of, and then whatever that is. I love the idea of having 10 ideal referral partners. I love the idea of this week attracting an ideal referral partner. They'll come out of the blue, out of the woodwork. One of the people I mentor said, yeah, it's like this all just comes right out of the woodwork. And exactly, it comes right out of thin air. That's where everything comes from. Everything comes from this non-physical energy, and you create it into your experience through your thought. Is you take that non-physical energy and turn it into, again, what scientists call matter, M-A-T-T-E-R. Okay, you turn it into your experience. So it comes in thoughts. You'll also get a thought to call someone. You'll also get a phone call. I got an email from someone who, yesterday, one of the things I wrote down in the evening about on how much I appreciate all the things I'm creating, out of the blue, someone from Austin contacted me, who's a top sales agent, and said, hey, I want to coach with you. That she decided, I just want to take it, to the next higher level. And I went, this is great. I don't even have to, it just all comes out of the blue. And so that's what's going to happen with you, is everything's just going to come out of the blue, and it's going to be fun. So contact them and ask them for help. And then step 3, so this is with referral partnerships, is meet with them, share your ideal client, and ask for a personal introduction. So who is your ideal client? Your ideal client? So I want you to write this down, because if you're not clear of what you want, Source can't deliver it to you. God can't deliver to you anything that you don't ask for. Ask and you shall receive. Well, you got to ask. And if you're not clear what you're asking, because you don't want clients, okay? You don't want clients that, take a long time, don't make decisions, are tough closings, don't have enough money, have bad credit, can't do anything for 6 months, etc. The list is long. And so so you want ideal clients. You need to ask for what you want. And so to ask, what are my ideal clients? They're motivated. They have good credit. And you'll just start attracting them. I know your ideal referral partner didn't run credit on them. They don't know. But the fact is that you will attract the ideal referral partners that give you the ideal clients, as long as you believe that and know that you have the power to attract anything that you want in your life. So this is good news, my friends. I can tell this is enlightening you. This is touching your minds, your hearts, your soul, that you're starting to realize and grasp the power that you have, the creator that you are now stepping up, and you're becoming the deliberate creator that you were born to be. You were born worthy. You are worthy. And you can take your beliefs and rest them. And again, next week, we're going to talk about that, and that's going to be a powerful session as well, about helping you to let go of some of those beliefs that no longer serve you, and then start having the beliefs that do serve you. And so, so you, again, meet with them, ideal clients. So those are all the attributes of the ideal clients. They have money for closing. They make quick decisions. They're motivated. They're easy. They're fun. They love me. Just get into it. And as you do, the energy. And so what's that energy? If you don't think about it for at least a minute and really get fired up on it, then you're not calling anything to you. Okay, so if you say, well, I want an ideal client, and walk away, you're not going to have an ideal client there. You want to really just embrace this and embrace your life, embrace who you are, embrace the creator that you are, and just start thinking about, I just love attracting all of this good in my life. I love having these ideal referral partnerships. I love having these ideal clients that love me, that I love, that are motivated, that give me referrals. They become my ideal referral partners, and they give me more referrals, and they go into neighborhoods where I get to meet all the neighbors and I get listings from it. Just start expanding your imagination. Most of our imaginations are stagnant. I want you to ask, and in the Joy Shop, to ask to expand your imagination, to expand your thoughts about your business, about you, about the happiness that you want, about the things that you want to be, do, and have. And as you do, that's your asking. As you think about it, that is your asking. And as you rise to the occasion now, and you start going to the summit, and thinking about all the things that you really came here before, that you're going to start remembering who you really are. And you are this magnificent, beautiful creator. And you can have it the way you want it. You can have your dreams come true. So in referral partnerships, and I'm streaming here, and so I just love all that. When I get going, that's the source talking to me, giving me these thoughts that are the perfect words for you to hear. But back to this referral partnership, that's step number 3, that share your ideal client, which we reviewed, and then ask for a personal introduction. You don't want a name and a number, and you call them. And so I have a great quick little story that I want to share with you, that it's the first time I made $1 million in one sale. And so I went to this executive at Chase, who was a client of mine, and he was a real rough, tough guy. His name was Jack. And he was from the Marines and a whole bunch of stuff, and so he was a rough, tough guy. And I said, hey, Jack, would you be willing to help me? And he goes, yeah, maybe, I'd help you. And so, trying to be a tough guy, maybe you'll help me. And I said, look, I'm looking for CEOs of billion-dollar companies where I can help them like I helped you. Would you be willing to help me? He said, yeah. And I said, do you know anybody that is a CEO of a billion-dollar business, that's probably in the mortgage industry, that, has customer service? So I help him to define the ideal client for him to think about who he knows. Everybody knows at least 250 people. So Jack says, yeah, I know a guy, and so here's his name. And I said, no, I'd like you to give me a personal introduction. Could you call him? So he goes, all right. So I said, could I call you Friday? He goes, yeah, call me Friday at 1600 hours. He's a real tough military guy. Okay, that's 4 o'clock for those of you that don't know. And so that Friday at 1600 hours, I call him and he answers and he goes, hello. And I go, hey, Jack, it's Dr. Hank. And I was wondering if you were able to talk to Chris yet. And he said, yeah, I talked to him and he's ready for your call. So I go, okay, great. What's his name and number? And so I get his number. And so I call and I get a gatekeeper and I say, hi, is Nick there? And she goes, no. And I said, well, I'd like to speak to him. And she goes, so does everybody else in the world. And so I said, well, I understand everybody else in the world wants to, but he's expecting my call. And she goes, he's busy. And I said, I'm telling you, you will be better off by giving me this personal introduction and, putting me through on the call. And so she goes, just wait. And so about a minute later, she comes back and she goes, oh, Dr. Hank, let me put you right through. Real nice and kind and everything. So I get him, actually his name was Rich Monroe. And so I say, hey, Rich, Dr. Hank. He goes, Dr. Hank, I've heard all about you. See, he trusts me because he got a personal introduction. And he goes, I heard all about you. Listen, where do you want to start? I got New York or Milwaukee? Where do you want to start? And I was brought up in Milwaukee and my family lived there. So I said, hey, I'll start out with Milwaukee. And it literally, I made $1.2 million on that deal. So talk about just on how all of that can flow into you, and a personal introduction is the name of the game. So number 4 on referral partners, then set up to where you meet with them every 2 weeks. And so it's a very formalized process. This isn't just getting a referral. This is, building this relationship with them and you helping all of the people that they know with the most important and highest investment that they'll ever have. And that is, for most of you, home ownership. And so your success assignments is that I'd like you to read your behavior and your motivational assessments. Listen to success unit number 2 at least 6 times, and I want you to start applying that. Next time you call someone, think about what behavior style they are and how you want to modify your behavior style, and then think about what are their values, what are they motivated by based on what they're talking about. And it's probably going to be a return on investment or knowledge that they want or helping other people. Okay. Again, success number 2, unit number 2, by listening to that, it has all the information about what we just discussed today. Meet with at least one new ideal referral partner, if not another current referral partner, and really get engaged into this. It should be fun for you. You should enjoy this. Get inspired. And as you get inspired with life, with you, that all these things are going to come to you, and they're going to come to you easily, and it's going to be downstream where all of your desires are. And so expect out of the blue things this week, my friends. Expect your good to come to you. Just pause and think about, and breathing deeply. Just think, out of the blue, great things are going to happen to me this week. That I have, that in the next week, that just some wonderful, amazing things. And start looking for them. If you don't look for them, they'll fly right by you and you'll miss it, and then you won't have any more of it. Start looking for the good things. And if you're so focused on something you can't have, stop thinking about it and think about other things. And eventually, that thing that you can't have will come true for you. And then finally, feel good every day in your Joy Shop. Nothing better than that. If you have any questions, any comments, any way that I can help you, please let me know. If you haven't, most of you have completed your assessment, but if you haven't, you still can. And I love you guys. It's awesome, and can't wait would love to hear from you on the successes you have so we can inspire each other and uplift each other. Love you. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your week. And know that everything is getting better and better for you now.